another sinusoidal in output with a different amplitude and phase shift. So we'll observe that. That is the advantage using a frequency domain. Okay. Now, this is the representation of time domain and frequency domain. So our object is y Laplace. Okay. So this is the frequency domain Laplace. So you might be understand slightly. Now my thing is y Laplace. So in that y Laplace means, before going to that y Laplace question, I want to address thing like domain transformation. What is domain transformation? So as you know that domain transformation means shifting the time domain, observing the things in frequency domain, or observe the things in frequency domain to your time domain. That is said to be a time domain transformation. So in that bench, we have the scientist called Fourier. He said that each and every signal, so each and every signal can be represented in sinusoidal forms. So each and every signal, that DC signal and a ramp signal, step signal, impulse signal, parabolic signal, whatever the signal we have, he just represented each signal with having a constants A0, B0, and he gave the concept called each and every signal can be represented in sinusoidal signals. Some of the sinusoidal signals, so it may be harmonics. So all the things we have learned, that gives the that is Fourier series, concepts of Fourier series and Fourier transformation. So why I am telling sinusoidal? What is the use of representing this every signal in sinusoidal? So in that experiments, he got the concept that if we give the sinusoidal input for any LTI system, so if we give sinusoidal input for any LTI system, we observe a sinusoidal output with variation of magnitude and phase shift, but this sinusoidal signal will not change the shape of LTI system. That is the main thing. So if for LTI system, if we give a sinusoidal response input, we will obtain a sinusoidal response only with a change in magnitude and phase shift, but this sinusoidal input will not change the fate of the shape of LTI system. That means if you give a response, for example, so small resistor, if you give a sinusoidal input, we observe the current with sinusoidal output with different phase shift and so magnitude. So in that he said, for example, our inductor capacitor, we will observe the same sinusoidal output with different phase shift and magnitude. But if you give a signal like ramp step signal, we won't get the same different ramp signal. Okay, we won't obtain. So that's why he represented all the signal with sinusoidal signals. Okay, so in that process, again some technically there is a lot of improvisation in research oriented ways, and they observed the physicalities of objects, right? In that process, there is lot of experimental things happened. That means they observed some advantages in domains. So advantages of domains. What is that advantages of domains? So let us see the advantages of domains. So advantages, so domain transformation. Okay, we did the domain transformation. If we do the domain transformation, what is the advantages? So advantages of domain transformation. Why we need to do domain transformation? So domain transformation, each domain has its own advantages. So basing upon domain analysis, some systems will give results in time domain accurately. Some system give in frequency domain. So we can't judge that, whether time domain is good or frequency domain is good. So if you want to observe the system in time domain, so in real time, how much time, if I start this signal right now at this time, at half an hour, what are the response I'll get? So it's a real time domain. So if you want a response in frequency domain, so you can observe that frequency domain. That is the, so if you have a signal in frequency domain, if you want to transfer this in time domain, we just do what you do, we just inverse that Laplace, okay? That is the advantages of signal. So many signals give the results in process of experiments, in process of experimental analysis of any system, they will give good results in frequency domain. In frequency domain, so that means if you vary the frequency, the responses is good. That means we'll get a different amplitude and different phase shifts. Then we can switch to a frequency domain. So that is the disadvantages of domain transformation. So we have seen now, up to now, what we have seen is, so up to now we just seen representation. First thing is time and frequency representation. After this, we have seen the domain transformation. What is domain transformation? And we have seen advantages of domain transformation. Advantages of domain transformation. Now, what is the main motivation to deal with motivation for Laplace? Okay. So up to now, I just deal with you. The free mathematical modeling, right? The mathematical modeling of different systems, right? So if you have a system having a spring constant and a damper with a bars moving, I have a free body motion expression mx double dot plus and bx dot plus kx. So this is the mathematical expression of this system having a force F and x is moving. Suddenly I remove the force, okay? Then it will be what? Unforced body. So for this unforced body, what is the mathematical expression I'll get? Mx double dot plus bx dot plus kx equal to 0. So after the differential equations, the result I am getting x of t in the form of a into e power minus sigma t into sine omega t plus phi. So I obtained this expression. That means the solution of the above free diagram, above unforced body, I approached a value of exponential and sinusoidal. That means, before I said the time domain transformation, each and every signal can be represented in sinusoidal terms. But we are having an approach of exponential. So how to represent that? That is the triggering of Laplace. Okay. So that is the triggering of Laplace. That means this in depth, if you observe carefully, what happens if you remove this? So that means if you express this like this, if I want to express this in exponential form, that means this sine omega t can be represented the value of like this. And the exponential term I have to represent, I would like to represent this is the exponential term for that above expression. So combiningly, I would get some response like this. That means the object which is the force removed, it will be getting 0 with some time. That means it is said to be exponentially damped response. So why this getting 0 means we are having damping here. So since we are having damping here, it is getting reduced. What happens if we remove the damping? If you remove the damping, we will end up with, if you remove the damping, if my damping is 0, I will end up this term with only